This conference will now be recorded.
I log in with the credentials, RUPOM Rupam at the rate, right, LT96.com, password CRM1234 hash. Last class, if you remember that, we have been talking about Aura component, where you can go ahead and you can use input fields. Along with that, we can also write the input field data can be tracked or can be taken inside the controller using an Aura ID. That is what we have been discussing. Aura ID are not only available for input field, Aura ID can be used even for buttons. You have to have an event listener. We declared an event, if you remember that, var or a variable event equals to event.getSource, where this event has occurred. If it's an on-click event, these are some default browser events: on change event, on click event, on mouse down, on mouse up, on rollover, on roll down. All these are your browser based event, right? In a browser, I click somewhere, it's an on click event. I type something and then I just click tab, or I, after typing, I move somewhere. We call them as on change events. These events can be captured using event.getSource. Event.getSource. This can be captured using event.getSource. With getSource, you can get the local ID, right? With the local ID, right? As I told you, we'll be talking about local ID, right? There are a global ID, local ID, when to use what. So with the local ID, we can get where this event happened, and we can get the Aura ID. That is nothing but the local ID. And based on local ID, you can write an if else statement to control your logic, right? This is what we did in the last class. Anybody has any question on that Aura ID? I see that most of you are sending me the homework. Anybody has any questions? Right? No? Any questions on the Aura ID before I proceed forward? Okay, I will take the silence as no. Next. Today, we will talk about the next piece, where we will go ahead and we will try to hide a certain piece, right? We will try to hide certain piece based on the input, right? Hiding, called as Aura if, like a if statement. An if statement not in the controller, but on the template or on the component or application. Let's see that. So I click on File, New, Lightning Component. LC, Lightning Component, underscore 1805, underscore EG1, underscore, right? I will say that, right? Aura if, AURA, Aura if, Aura if. That's the component that I'm taking. Control C, click on Submit. Let me open a notepad so that I can note this down. I can keep a track of the component that I'm creating, right? So this is the component that I created. Let's close it. Now, let's do the simple, right, calculation. As I told you, from today onwards, I will start, right, using Aura attribute only. Only for primitive data type, we use with, right, without an attribute, directly with an ID, we get the data in the database. Sorry, we get the data in the controller. But today onwards, we will be start using, right, once again the attribute. So let me go back. Aura attribute. What is the name? Name of the attribute equals to what? Name equals to rate, right? Type. Type of the attribute is decimal. So that's the attribute that I'm taking, right? Or attribute. I'm doing your simple interest, right? One. So rate. Next, int. That's also decimal. Next, right? Principal, or I can say amount,
The
right?
attribute spelling is
ATT. Okay, ATT, ATT, ATT. It's T. It's a T. It's a T. ATT, RIBOT. Perfect. Or attribute. Right? There are 3 attributes I've taken. Right? That's good. Right? We can, if you want, we have to take one more flag. Right? Rate. Right? Rate, interest, and principal. PRI. Finally, I want to display the result. So let me go ahead and take one more attribute called as result. RES. Res. Everyone knows it. We, right? Now, let's go ahead. Now I will start lightning card, right? Lightning card. So my lightning card here, I will say, right? Title. Title equals to what? I will say SI calculator, right? Simple interest calculator. Now here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a button, so you can use an aura set. As usual, we will be using it. AU aura. These are certain programs which will be repeated again, right? Attribute. Attribute equals to what? Where you want. ACTIONS actions. ACTIONS actions. And inside that, I will have a lightning button. Lightning BUTTON button. Label, right? Label equals to submit. On click, what I want to call? I want to call exclamation C dot. Call me. I'm calling a function called as C dot call me. Perfect. Now, let me go ahead and display the result. Sorry, let me take an input here. LIGHTN. Lightning, right? I will say input, right? Label equals to enter the amount. Enter the amount, right? So you want to go by our ID or you want to go by the value? I don't mind. Anyhow, we have taken, right? So we have taken the attribute. So let's go by value. Value equals to, right? What is that? Exclamation V dot principal. V dot principal. Right? Perfectly done. Control C. 4 values I'm placing it.
curly flower brackets.
Sorry?
Curly bracket missing.
Yeah, that's correct. Curly bracket is missing. There we go. Curly bracket is missing. Okay, I will not display the result, but anyhow, fine. So, right, let's go ahead. Lightning input, copy, principal, right? Then I will say that enter the right rate. Rate is nothing but interest. It's term, TRM term. Okay. Enter the term, right? Enter the number of years. Enter the number of years you want to invest. Right. Finally, right? Principal, term, rate of interest. Control C, Control V. I go ahead and I will say enter the rate of interest. Enter the rate of interest. That is nothing but the rate. Right? Now, there we go. In the same, right, till here, I believe that everyone is clear. Yes, perfectly fine. Now, this is the card that I have, right? So whenever we click, let's say that I have one more card, I'm taking another card. Lightning card, right? I will say, right, title equals to, right, SI calculator result. SI calculator result. I will say amount, right? Amount. What is the amount entered? Amount, right? So years, then I will say rate, and finally interest. INTEREST, interest accumulated. So now amount, rate, whatever the rate that you're entering. So exclamation, right? V dot, that's the principal, whatever you've entered. I'm displaying the field as a, right, read only. That's nothing but, right? V dot, number of years, that's your term, right? Next, rate. I could have displayed with the input field also, right? V dot. What is the rate? Rate is rate. And finally, the result. Control C, Control V. Result is nothing but res. This is that. Perfectly fine. Two cards. System will show two cards. Two cards over there. One input card, another output card. SI calculator inputs. Everyone clear? Control S, no error, right? Now let's go ahead and write call me. Copy, go to the controller, action, call me, right? Simple. Var, I'll declare var am, amount, amt equals to, what I will say, component dot get, component dot get. What we can use? Component dot get, component dot directly, right? Component dot, I'm not using find dot get, I'm using what? Component dot get. What value you want to get? V dot, whatever the value of the attribute that you entered, yeah, principal. Similarly, I will declare a couple of more variables because I have to bring all those data inside, right? Next, rate, right? I have to bring the rate. So rate, whatever the rate of interest has been entered, rate. Next, I have to get the year, that is the term. Control C, that's the term, right? TRM, term, right? Now, once I have this, what I will do, I will just go ahead and I will say var int interest equals to, what is that? Amount, simple calculation, into rate, PTR by 100, principal term into interest by 100, PTR by 100. That's a simple formula, right? By 100, by 100, by 100. Once this is done, I have to send the result back. For that, what I will do? I will do component dot set. Everyone knows it. There's nothing that rocket science I'm doing. That's a simple one that we are doing. What is that? V dot. What is the value? Res. V dot res. I have to set it with what? Component dot set with the int, with the interest, with the interest. Control S. Everything is good? Do you see anything wrong? Right? Everything is good? Yes, guys? Everything is good?
Yes.
Perfect. File, new, lightning application. I will say LA. LA. Submit. right? I close my description, right? This is now first ext, and this extends to what? Extends to force SLDS, force lightning design system. I'm calling my component inside this. What is the component that I created? I created a component called as, right? That's the component that I created. Save. Let's go ahead and see a preview. Everyone knows it, right? This is how it's working. So two cards, input, there's a button and we will get the output. Okay, I forgot to put a paragraph tag in between here. I have to put a paragraph tag, right? Or a break tag, break, so that it pushes to the next line, right? Break tag, Control S. I go ahead and refresh my output. This is how you get. I enter the amount, 1000. I enter the year, 2 years. Rate of interest, 7. I hit submit. Immediately I get, right, 140 is the, right? Now, suppose I give, let's say that 0. I click on submit. I get all 0, 0, 0. Interest accumulated is 0, right? Because PTR by 100. Whenever the result is less than, if your interest amount is coming less than 10, if your interest accumulated is coming less than 10, I don't want this card to be displayed. Only when the interest amount is greater than 10, try to understand. Only when the interest amount is greater than 10, what I'm going to do? Then only I'm going to display this result card. For example, I invest 100 rupees, right? I click on submit. Okay, it's still good. Let's say that rate of interest is 5%. I click on submit. My interest accumulated amount is 10 here. Anything which is 10 or less than 10, right? Anything which is 10 or less than 10, I don't want this card to be displayed. We don't display this card. Which card? SI calculator card. How can I do that? That's what the topic that I'm going to start. We will use Aura if. We used to write if statement within the controller. Now we will write the if statement in the component. For that, we need to declare a attribute which can hold a Boolean value. Aura, I'm declaring one attribute. Let me copy it rather than writing it. Control C. Aura attribute. What is that attribute? Type is Boolean. Type is Boolean. Name of the attribute is flag. I'm declaring a special attribute. Default value is what? True. True. So there is a flag. Default value is true. Default value is true. Default value is true. Right? Default value is true. Right? Default value is true. So true. What is it true? Right? True. So this is the flag that I've taken. Now, what I'm going to do? How can I write an Aura if else statement? Aura if else statement. Keep on watching. I will say Aura if is true. This is how you write an Aura if. Remember that. Aura if. Right? If this is true, right? If this is true, Aura if. If this is true, what do you want to do? If this is true, what do you want to do? Right? Keep on watching. If it's true, right? True equals to what? True equals to, where is the true value? Equals to, it is in my attribute, exclamation, v dot flag, v dot flag. Anything if the flag is true would be displayed there. So I write control X. I place it here because I want to hide and seek what? This whole attribute. Control X. Inside the aura if I'm placing it. Inside the aura if I have the lightning card and then I have them out. If the flag is set to true, right? If the flag is set to true, what we can see that we can set the flag to false. Whenever you set the flag to false, what will happen? This will not get displayed in the page, right? I'm setting it to false. Default equals to false. If aura is true is false. Keep on watching. Control C. What happened? Right? The attribute is true is not found on the component, right?
Who
Or
spelling?
sorry,
Equals to.
Who spelling is wrong?
Spelling mistake.
line number. Which number?
19.
Line number. Right? Aura if TRUE. Sorry. If true. That's good. There is nothing called double equal to, it's a single equal to. Okay. Aura if true. Right? Done. Now let's go ahead and see the output. Okay. See that? Your result card is not being displayed. Your result card is not being displayed. Unless and until you go and set the value to true. You have to set this value from false to true. Where I can do? I can do in the controller. In the controller, I can write if statement. With me, if what? If, right? If the interest amount is greater than equals to, oh, you want, okay, greater than 10. We don't want to take 10 also, greater than 10, no equal to. If it is greater than 10, what I'm going to do? Component dot set. Which value? The flag value. Component dot set, right? V dot flag equals to what? I have to set it to true. I have to set it to true. Set it to true. That's it. If it's set it to true, right? Control X below than this. Doesn't make a difference wherever I place it, right? So just to have a proper sequence. If the interest is greater than, then only I'm setting the flag value to what? True. Else, right, the flag value remains as it is false. Now I'm controlling this aura attribute from the controller. Based on this aura attribute value, my card will be decided to be displayed. The value is false at the time of loading. If the interest is more than 10, then only I'm setting the value to true. If I set the value to true, then only it will be displayed on the page. Let's go ahead and do that. Right? I'm investing 100 rupees, right, for 2 years. Rate of interest is, let's say that 8%, right? I click on submit. Immediately you get the card called as interest accumulated 16. Now rate of interest is 4%. 4%. I'm investing 100 rupees for 2 years. Rate of interest is 100%. It's right 4. I click on submit. Right? Oh, still it's getting displayed. Right? So 100. Number of years 2. Rate of interest 4. Submit. Submit. It's not coming. I don't get it. Right? Rate of interest, right? I change the rate of interest to 8. Submit. I get. Now, the problem, right, could be, see, everything is working fine, but the problem could be, right, let us see here, false, true, perfectly fine. Got it? What's how the aura if is working? You are just controlling the flag, right? The flag. Whenever you are setting the value to true, whenever the results enters into true, it displays. Whenever it falls, it hides, right? Whenever it falls, it hides. Once it became true, right? Once it becomes true, next time we are not setting it to true again. If you we are once it became true, right, or once it became false, you're not we are see only at the time of loading it is false. Once with the program you set it to true, the value remains true. The value remains true. Even thereafter, if you change the interest, right, we were nowhere setting the value to false again. With me or not? Those who are not able to understand. Now, what is that? You can see that the rate of interest is more than 16. Perfectly fine. Rate of interest is more than 16. Agreed. Now, I change the rate of interest to what? 1%. I click on submit. Still this card is displayed. Still this card is displayed even though the interest is less than 2. Why? Because once the flag is set to true, thereafter you are not setting the flag to false. We are just setting the flag to true. We are just setting the flag to true, right? We are just setting the flag to true. Else, let me complete the whole statement also then. Else. Else. Set it to false. Because we have written only one piece of it. Once the value is set to true, it is remaining true only. Next time, right, when the value is less than that, the aura flag value is already true. So hence, it is displaying, even though the interest is less than 2%, system is displaying it. Else, make it to false. Make it to false. By default false, make it to false. By default false, make it to false. So now I enter 100, number of years 2, rate of interest 8. I will get 16. I change the rate of interest to 2%. Submit. It's gone. Right? Earlier, this was not working. The reason was that the flag value was set to true. Thereafter, the flag value was not changed to false any given time. Now, whatever you do, rate of interest is 14%. It will be displayed because the interest accumulated is 28. No, the number of year is 14, right? Let's say that number of year is 8 and the interest is 1%. Then submit. System will not display. 8 into 1, 8. Right? So, clear now how to use an aura if? How to use an aura if? How to use an aura if? Yes, everyone? Anybody has any doubt? Aura
Sir,
if?
after in if condition, after second, you put the second if after if you put the else also. Instead of else, we can refresh the page also, right?
We can
That
refresh
is
the
also
page,
work.
but why do you want to refresh the page again for everything? It will work obviously. Every time you refresh, the value will be set to false again, because as the page load, it will be set to false. But it's not feasible, right, to go ahead and load the page again, everything, right? Yes, it's not feasible. So this is how we go ahead. Everyone clear? Right? Any questions? Right? Any questions on how to
Component
use an aura if?
use is
Aura if is used to display or height. It's not here to do a logic. Logic if is in the controller. Logic if is in the controller. Aura if is only to show display and height, is used to display and height. Aura if. You can use more than aura if. You can use more than one aura if in the whole page. More than aura if. There is nothing called else in aura if. Only if. Only if. If you want to do an else, then once again, second time also you have to copy aura if is true equals to flag. You have to control the flag. Based on the flag control, you can play with if else statement. Right? With me?
Yes.
Right? It is just to hide and unhide things. Use aura if. Just to hide and unhide things. Right? Just a minute. Where is my phone? Where is my phone? Where is my phone? Just a second. Let me see whether my architect is available or not. Any questions meantime? Just give me a sec. I'm just typing a message. Good morning. Actually, we had a deployment this Saturday and Sunday. Actually, I should be in the deployment now to check the deployment, post deployment. Anyhow, fine. Let me see. If he comes, then I will go, or else we'll continue the class. Okay. Cool. Now, the next thing, right? Everyone clear what I'm trying to do? Yes or no? Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone clear? The next thing that we are going to discuss today would be your CSS. CSS. Cascade Style Sheets. CSS. Cascade Style Sheets. I will recommend today I will do the basics. Tomorrow I will go ahead and I will start doing the CSS. So for that, today you will go to the Google, type CSS, and go to the CSS tutorials. Those who are not aware what is a CSS, how it works and everything, please go to the Google, type CSS, go to W3 School, look on the CSS colors, how to apply a color, background color, how to apply a background. I want to give a background. How to apply a border. I want to give a border. How to apply margins. I want to give a margin. Paddings, height, text, font. You don't need icons, okay? Fonts. If you learn these, right? Fonts, text, margin, border, background, it's enough for you to go ahead, right? If it's enough for you to go ahead and use what? It's enough for you to go ahead and use the CSS. Just have a look today, everyone. Okay, now let's start the CSS, right? We will start designing some CSS, right? So now before we go, if you see that every component that I'm creating, it's starting from this edge to edge of the screen, right? Left side edge, it starts from 0 0, that top corner from here where my mouse is. I don't know whether you can see my mouse or not, but SI calculator input, SI calculator input, that's where it starts with. right? So let's assume, right? From the page, this is the component, SI calculator. Whenever you want to push something from the border to here, we call them as margins. We call them as left margin, left margin. This is the one, right margin. This is the right margin. From the top, right? Top margin. Pushing a component, TOP, top margin, top margin. This is called margin. This is my card, SI calculator card. Whenever you want to push something, we use margin. Inside the card, you have enter the amount inside the card, and that is also starting touching to the edge like this. See that on the screen also. Behind the paint, you can see all the fields, the input field 100 touching the border, right? Enter the number of years touching the border, 8 touching the border. Every element is touching this border. Whenever you want to push this element like this, we call them as padding. We call them as padding. This distance from a component is called as what? Padding. What do we call it? We call them as padding, right? Padding, padding, padding. Remember this. Margin and padding. Very simple, very straightforward, right? Margin will push a component, whereas padding left, padding right, right? Padding will push, right, the element inside a component, element inside a component, element inside a component. Now, inside a component, these are the elements. Here, I have a box. I have a box. Enter the input. I have a box. Enter the input. Whenever you want to apply CSS to inner element, there are two elements now. Outer element is this card. I can apply a border card. Inside that, there is input text. In this box, I want to apply a card. I want to apply the border, red color border. The outside I want to apply a green border, let's say. You have to differentiate between inner element and outer element. You have to differentiate between an inner element and an outer element. You have to differentiate between an inner element and an outer element. Remember this. Inner element, outer element. Let's do the programming. You will understand what differentiation I'm talking about and what. Whatever this card I created, in this card, I'm going to apply some CSS. Keep on watching, right? I'll be applying some CSS to the class, right? I will apply some CSS. For example, I'll start with a simple HTML first. I'm removing the lightning card in the result. I want to put this result into a box called div. Div. Div is nothing but box, division. Control X. There is a div. Right? Div. Div starting, div ending. Div is a box, division. Control S. Go to the, sorry, refresh it. Nothing. All your features will work as it is. As the page loads, there is nothing. I enter the amount, right? 7,000, number of year 4, rate of interest 7. I click on submit. You get a plain output without a card, right? Now I want to control this output, right? I will apply some styles to it. First, today we will see how to apply it to what? A plain HTML, right? And then how to go ahead and apply a style. We have two types of style, inline style, class style. All these we'll see tomorrow very well. Today, just go ahead and apply a simple style. In the div, I will say class equals to box. Class equals to box. I'm giving a name, right? Division. Inside the division, I have the output, Control S. Don't worry, in the output, you will not get a label called as box. No. If you're thinking that I'll get a box, right? I'll get a box, right? I'll get a box. No, it is just I'm giving a ID to this. Division is box. Now let's go to style. We'll come to the helper. Don't worry. Let's go to the style. Style. Let's go to the style. This dot, the ID. Where do you want to apply the style? I want to apply the style to this box. Control C. This dot box. This dot box. This dot box. This dot box. I want to apply. Right? I want to apply a style. What style you want? I want to apply a width. 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 How much? 30 px. Width. I'm applying 30 pixel width. Right? Width. Right? Height. Height of this box. Okay, not 30. 30 is too small. 300. Height. 150 px. Half of it I'm taking. Right? I want to apply a border. Border. Border equals to what? 3 px. I want solid. I want red. Solid red. Control S. Go ahead. See the output. Press enter. Right? Amount 8,000. Number of years 8 years. Interest 9%. Click submit. So this with red color box, right? Now, definitely I don't want the result to be here. I want result to be in the center of the page. I want to push it, right? So what is that I told you? Margin. M-A-R-G-I-N, margin left. Margin left equals to how much? 150 px, always in pixel. Margin left 150 px, right? Let's do one thing. Every time I have to enter some data, it's creating problems, so I'm taking it true flag only. Okay, for the moment I'm taking the flag equals to true, so that as soon as the page load, the box comes in, rather than me going ahead and entering the data. Now you see I press enter, it comes here, it's moving. Oh, 150 is not sufficient, so 300. Trial and error you have to do. 300, 350, good enough, right? So result, enter. Maybe 400 or 450 or something. Okay, let it be. You have to do a trial and error here. The locations, you don't have exact locations, right? Those who are already in the designing and Angular JS, or they have been working on any type of designing, web designing, then they will be knowing the exact location, how much it gives. Okay, 650.
Keep it as 50%, 50%.
Yeah, we can give 50% also. We can give a percentage also. Percentage or pixel, both the way you can give, right? So CSS somewhere in the middle. This is where the result. From the top, you want to push it down. I want the result not exactly to be touched with this line. You want to push. You can say that, right? Margin top and start pushing it. Right? Margin top, start pushing it. I want the background inside this to be yellow. Rupam, from where are you taking all these things? I'm taking it from that tutorial only. CSS. CSS. I want a background. Background. CSS background. I scroll down. Background equals to green, yellow, background color. You can see that background. I'm taking from here, right? Borders, right? You have different types of border. Dotted, you said dotted. So border style, you can take it dotted, right? Border style, it's not solid. I can say dotted. I can copy from here. Control C. Go to my developer console, right? I put it here. I remove the solid, right? Let's remove the border is 3 pixel. Border style dotted, right? Color. From where I'm taking? From here only I'm taking, right? Border color. See, scrolling down. Border color equals to red. Copy. This is where I was taking, right? This is what I was taking. Okay, it doesn't make a difference. Control S from here, right? Apply to the page. Let's see that dotted. Now we got dotted. You want the background color. From where I have to take? Same from the CSS. That's the reason I told you to look on the CSS, right? Background color equals to light blue or light yellow, whatever you want, right? Light blue. Control S, right? And you are able to apply. See, light blue. How we are filling the colors and everything inside it. Clear, everyone? Simple CSS using a style. Simple CSS using style. What I just did, I just declared a box. Box. I just declared a box. I just declared a box. On that box, what I'm doing, I'm going ahead and I'm typing, right? Now, I want to insert an image, right? For example, today, after the end of the class, your homework would be to create this page. I want exactly this page. Everybody has to create, if not full page, at least this piece. This is your homework for today, right? In the Paint, File, New, don't save. I want you to create this, right? This box. Now you know why I start with a div. Div. This box. Inside that there is a field, right? Inside this there's a lightning input, lightning button, right? You can change, you can have type equals to checkbox. You'll get a checkbox, right? So start. I want this to be created. How to insert an image, Rupam? Right? Let's see this first. Before you insert an image, you need to load. There are multiple ways to do that, but the ideal way is that first load the image to your resource. Now I go. I say SALES FORC, force logo, Salesforce logo, images. First, download the logo, right? Let's take a white logo. Perfectly fine. Right click, save the image as. Let me save it in your 96 folder, right? As a JPG. Image is saved. Close. Next step, go to your setup. Go to your setup, right? Okay. Go to your setup. Under custom code, you have static resources. Under custom code, you have static resource, right? Go to your setup in the Salesforce. Under custom code, you have static resource. Click on new, give a name, logo LG. Logo, choose the file. Where is our file? C drive. Under 96 folder, we have this logo. Make it public, because if it's private, then it's only visible to you. So make it public. Click save. A logo get uploaded. The name of the resource is LG. Now let's go to the development. Wherever you want to put this image, right? Wherever I want to put the image, right? Better that I put in another div, because div, I will tell you the reason. Div, I put this logo in the div, right? Div, how to put the logo? You can use your IMG, HTML based command, src, source equals to what? Where is the source? Exclamation $resource dot universal table resource dot. What is the logo name? LG. That is the name. That is the name. Height equals to what? 150 as usual. Width equals to how much? 250. This is how you insert a logo with an image command. Control S. Go ahead and see the output. What happened? Our logo has not yet come.
Resource
Box is
spelling
there.
is wrong.
Line number 20.
Right?
Resource
Everywhere
spelling.
resource spelling. RESOURCE. Right? Now it's correct. Control S. I'm making all spelling mistakes. Right. Now go ahead and refresh it. So that your logo comes in. On a lightning page, I've just remember that in real time, your job is not to design this logo. Designing team will give this logo. Height, width, your work is only to place it. Now I can go ahead and I can apply what? To this box, I will say class equals to. What is that? Class equals to, right? I will say logo. Two divisions are there. You can say that. Two divs. Inside the RIF, there are two divs. Logo. Go here. Style. Right? Dot this. Same exactly as on the top. Dot this. Dot logo. Dot this dot logo. No comma, not required. Right? Then you can say margin. Control S. Right? Refresh the page. Right? Refresh the page. What happened? Dot this. Did I place it correctly? Logo. Yes. Margin left. Right? Logo. Is it an
Sir, save the
element?
component. Save the
Sorry?
component.
Which component?
We have written that Aura component, Aura class box.
Oh, I didn't save it. Okay. Control S. Save. Saving the component. Right? Let's go ahead and refresh the page. Enter. See, your logo comes there. Just trying to show you how to work. Remember that in style, you don't put comma here. Don't put the comma. Let it be like this. Whereas in controller, whenever you're writing more than one function, you put comma, comma, comma. But whenever we are writing a CSS, we don't put commas. We don't put commas. Remember this very well. How many you want to decide? You have to decide like this. How many you want to decide? You have to decide with what? Without a comma, you will keep on continuing wherever the box is. How many CSS you want to define? You can define. Clear now, everyone? You can use your custom colors, your HTML colors also. HTML color code, hexadecimal color code can be used. I'm going to HTML color code, right? Now you can see that. What color you want. And then you can drag the bar. I want this color. Copy this color code. Control C. Your HTML hexadecimal codes border now background equals to not light blue equal to hash C1C231. You can get this. Control S. It works, right? System uses the right color code. Everyone clear? So if you want borders, if you want to give background, whatever you want to do to your component, you can start doing it using what? Using style. In the style we define. In the style we define this. Wherever you want, you can just put them as a class. I want to apply to lightning card. Every attribute will have a style class will be there. What does that mean, Rupa? Let's go to the dictionary. Google.com. Lightning component reference. I go to the dictionary. Lightning component reference. I go to the dictionary. Under lightning, I look for what I'm using. Card. Here it is. What are the properties of card available? Go to the specification. You can see class. Class equals to one CSS class. Class equals to only for the outer, not for the element inside. Class. Every element will have a class, a style class. So I can say here, lightning card class equals to what? I will say lightning LTG CRD, lightning card. Now you can create a, right, with the same thing, go to the style, create one more with this dot. Control C here, like this. There you can start giving now. Border 3 pixel. I'm applying it to a card. You want to control the height and width also. Take the control the width of the height and width of the card. Right, I'm controlling. Width equals to 300, height equals to 150, border equals to this, right? Border color equals to whatever you want. Green, red, blue, XML color, sorry, HTML color. You can go ahead and apply, right? I'm going and applying it. Control C, right? Let's go ahead. Press enter. How does, right? Now, is it my style is getting applied there? Even though I made style, right? Lightning card, this dot style. I didn't save it. Control S as usual, right? Go ahead, press enter, right? See, that's how I have made the card size small, right? The whole card size has become small. You want to push it the card also in the middle, right? You want to push the card also in the middle, right? Margin, same, left 650. Card. Why our border colors are not coming up? Let's see, not a problem. Border equals to 350. Control S, right? See how I'm resizing my cards. See, now everything is in the middle. Everything is in the middle. This image I have to push from the top, right? Margin top. This image is inside a div and I'm pushing it down, right? I'm pushing it down, right? Let's take card, background color equals to, right? Lightning card, border color, right? Red, background color. Let's see whether in the card this applies or not. Control S, right? So Control S, press enter, right? See that? Background, wherever the empty space, it is getting filled. Empty spaces. Rupam, why didn't came here behind this empty space? Because your height is, your elements are crossing the height of the div. Your elements are crossing the height of the div. That means this height is not getting sufficient. It should be 250. Control S. All these are trial and error you have to do. My div size is not fixing. Now you see that. Simple interest calculator. I'm applying it. Right? I'm trying to apply the style to it. See? Color, same color I gave, right? Same color. So with the style, whichever component you want to control, you can control using what? Right? Using an attribute called as style. Let's see that for the button. Do I have a style? Right? For a button, do I have a style? Button. I click on button. Specification. Do I have a style? Yes, there is a class. Everywhere the class is available. Button. Control C. I'm trying to applying it to a button now. Right? Lightning button. Class equals to, what is that? BTN. Now, very funny. Keep on observing. BTN. Control C. I go to my style. I define one more style. Right? BTN. Control C. This is an inner element. Remember this very well. This is an inner element. Inner element, right? This dot BTN. I will say border, 3 pixel. Borders are not getting applied, but anyhow, border color is red, right? Border color is red. Anything else for the moment? Font color. Let me go ahead and find a font color in the aura, right? I will say font, and I will look for a text, right? Font or text, anything is fine. Font size, font text, font family, right? You can define all those here, right? So I can say color. I can simply say color. Color equals to, go ahead. I will say color, right? COLOR, color. Color equals to what? Color equals to red. RED, red. Color equals to red. Control S. Let's go ahead and see button. Oh, sorry, here it is. Press enter. See that your inner element, we are not able to, right, apply the style class. It's not applying. Remember that inner element should be always this space dot. This dot this space inner element. Space inner element. You need to have put a space there. Space. One space you have to put. For an inner element, you have to put what? Space. Remember this very well. Right? For an inner element. Right? Space. Right? Space. Let's see. For all the inner element, these are all trial and error, guys. Right? Now you see that. It's coming up. The border color is not coming, but the font is red. You can see that. The button. For all inner element, you have to use, remember this very well. For all inner element, you have to use a space. All inner element, you have to have a space. All inner element, you have to have a space. For example, let's assume one more example I'm giving. Inside the card, inside one card, this is the card. Inside the card, you have a division. Inside the card, there is a division. Let's assume, right? To show you the program, what I'm talking about. This is the card. Card has a CSS, lightning card. Inside the card, let's assume that I put this division. Let's assume, okay? Control C. Whenever you are now see that outer style, inner style, always this box will be with a space. Dot box, it will be this space dot this box. Whenever you have an outer element, inside the outer element there is class, then you have to use space. Remember this very well, right? Because already it is inside, in outer element is card. On the card there is a CSS. Again inside you are defining one more CSS. It has to be with a space. Same thing I'm doing here also, right? Same thing applies even for the buttons. Even for the buttons. Same thing applies even for the buttons. Outer, this is the outer. Anything inside this, for input also you can apply a style. Input text here, class. Class equals to, same as button, btn. Same as button, control S. Same as button. These are also inside. Outer is the card. Card has a class. Any inner element has to be with a space. Any inner element has to be with a space. Here it is. Space. Control S. Right? Go ahead. Display. It's not displaying. Right? Check it out. No issues. Right? Class. Did I save it? Yes. You have to use class. Inner element, outer element. All the element that you are inside, you have to use space. In the CSS, you have to use a space here. Clear now, everyone, what I'm trying to display and what I'm trying to show you. Good with the CSS? Yes.
Sir, inner element, how to give the padding?
Right. That's okay. Inner element, padding, right? You want to have a padding, so use padding, no issues. My card, let's go ahead. Developer, where is that? Lightning card, padding, here only I'll give in the card. What is that? Padding, P-A-D-D, P-A-D-D-I-N-G, padding. Padding equals to how much? Padding equals to how much? 20 px. 20 px will be more, 10 px. 10 px. Control S. On the lightning card itself, I'm applying the right padding. Press enter. You see that? Now did it move little bit? Enter. See, from the
Yes, sir.
card it's
Yes,
not
sir.
touching. So now you can go ahead and you can give 30, 40, whatever you want. Equals to 30, equals to 20 or 30. Let's say 30. Control S. So this is called padding. How can you move it? Move the field. See that now I'm moving the field, my structure is getting deferred. This is called padding. I told you. And this part from white area till here is margin. Margin, inner element inside the, this is the element, inside that you have a padding. Right? Cool? Right? Like this, you can start applying style to your components. You can apply style to your components. You can apply style to your components. Good guys? Able to understand? Yes or no? Everyone? Able to understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
Perfect. Right? Let me answer that. So just know it. You might not require to do this. I mean, unless until there is a specific requirement to apply some specific style to a component, right, to a button, right? All these things are all your specific requirement. So end of the day, you should be able to send me this homework. Login page. You have to create a login page, right? And you have to send me the login page code or with the screenshot saying that the output gives me the login page. How many of you are confident that you can deliver this? How many of you are confident? Remember me is a checkbox. Rupam, we didn't speak about checkbox. No problem. We have spoken about input. 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 In the input, there is a type called as checkbox. Lightning input, type equals to checkbox. Label equals to remember me. Checked equals to true or checked equals to false. Automatically you will get this icon. This is also input, but type is what? Type is check. Checkbox type. Checkbox type. Right guys? Right guys? Yes. So
Yes,
all the elements we have learned. Only thing is that the hyperlink. You can leave it, or you can, if you want, you can go ahead and you can search. That's a simple one. Search by yourself. You can, if you don't get a lightning word, lightning, if you're not able to search, use href. Href, it's an HTML command. Use href. Href, href, hyperref, href. This too. Forgot your password? Use custom domain. Whenever you click, it opens flipkart.com. Whenever you click forgot your password, it should open Amazon. That's it. Right? Remaining all the components you know how to place it on the page as of today, including the colors and everything. Right? So by this, we have seen the CSS. By this, we have seen the CSS. How the CSS work, how the Aura if works. Tomorrow onwards, we will start important class. First thing that tomorrow we will see would be your helper. After the helper, we will start seeing your S object data type. How to handle S object and collection data type in Lightning. Till today, we have been learning only the primitive data type. Integer, decimal, Boolean, right? All these numbers, we have been handling only that. Now we will start handling S object, account.name, account.phone, we'll start handling. Clear now? Got it? That's it for today. Understood the class, guys? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Everybody is able to understand how I'm writing the code, what are this component bundle. We started with the component, we went to the controller, we went to the style. Tomorrow we will see the helper. Each one, what is the role of the bundles? Each element of a bundle, what role they're playing, right? All the logics in the controller, all the coloring in the style. See, one component. Clear? And all your designs here. Today we have seen Aura if, Aura if, Aura if. Right? That's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow onwards, your important classes starts. That should be what would be used in the real time. Right? So till then, thank you guys. Have a nice and wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.